know.
So, episode 4, right? We've been doing this for a month now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a month.
That's wild to think about.
I wish I could.
To fucking
Haha.
be on a lighter note from the last episode, I'm going to talk about self-help and self-care, and you've seen the title. You know what it is. You know what's coming.
Right.
Uh I I, I did find one. I'll find it as we're talking. But
We did find a quote. We just did not post it in our thread here.
yeah.
So we do have a quote of the week. Don't worry. But as a
So
basic rundown, even though we haven't really said anything, haven't really done this, a basic rundown is, yeah, we're going to be talking about like being honest with yourself, identifying your problems, and like coping mechanisms.
yeah, right. So a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but like one of the biggest ways to help yourself is to find some type of like therapy, whether it be like just finding a friend that you
Mm-hmm.
can talk to, or a family member, just whatever, just something to
Anybody.
get the stuff out of your head, because
Yeah.
it's like you keep it in, regardless of what it is. Like, it doesn't have to be good or bad, but either way, you keep it in your mind, and you're like, it starts to bubble and overflow, and like eventually it's gonna like get bad. Like, have you ever been so happy that you just have to tell somebody?
Oh, every time. Usually I call you first.
Exactly. So it's the same about like with being sad too, or going through whatever. You have
Right.
to you have to
Express
share.
it somehow. And like you was saying, your therapy doesn't have to be a person, you know.
No.
I tend to find myself using me playing video games as my like kind of therapy to just forget about what made me mad at work and stuff like that. So, you know. But it's still very important to not just keep it in there, you know. You got to let it out at some point. The more they pile up, the worse it's going to get. Unfortunately.
I just seen it. Where's it at? Because this is a good time to talk about it. This is a good time to give the quote because of what it was.
A little bit unprepared this time, weren't we?
Yeah, I was. Well, mainly with this. It's hard to
Yeah.
find good quotes that reflect what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's why I leave it up to you.
Yeah, just give me all the stow it all on me. It's fine.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do actually.
All right, episode 4, we talk about manic.
Talk about my feelings and the why I. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, dude, it's not funny. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not funny. I've just known him so long, I can't help but laugh when he does stuff.
Or doesn't do certain things.
You got it over there?
No, I don't. Let's just move on until we can
Yeah.
we can find it. We can find it here in a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what are some, like, to kind of pose the question? We could pose it for chat, for each other, whatever. What are some, like, good ways to take care of yourself, right? Just off the top of my head, take a shower.
Yeah. Hygiene's a big thing.
When you are depressed and upset and you don't want to do nothing, at the
You just
very
want to lay in
least,
bed.
go get up and take a shower. You
Honestly, that has helped me a couple times.
That's helped
Like
me a lot.
even if I didn't need it, you know what I'm saying? Like I just took one last night, and I got up in the morning, feeling like down and out. I'm like, you know what? I'll take me a nice little hot shower.
I'm about to
I
take
take
another
burning
shower.
hot.
Yeah.
I take burning hot showers too, but
Little
yeah,
fun
I mean
fact:
it's a good.
there is a study about um, people and their preferences on water temperature during the shower, and
Hmm.
it has been found that the hotter the shower you take, or so people who take, you know, hot showers typically feel like they're alone, and the warmth of the water is sort of like their way of feeling like something is kind of like holding them. And then, there's the sadistic people who take freezing cold showers
Yeah, you're just weird. I don't
that
even
are
care
like,
what science says.
look,
I don't.
there's nothing wrong because I do it too. In the mornings, I'll take a cold shower to wake me up.
Dude,
But
I always take hot showers because my back's always hurting, dude, and that feels so good on my back.
yeah, it helps a lot.
I
It,
don't feel alone. That statistic does not include me, dude. I don't feel alone. But boy, that hot water on my back. Oh my gosh.
dude, it's like the sun is just fucking kissing your skin, man.
Dude,
It
I'm
feels
telling you, it's
amazing.
like I just dove into a volcano.
You're just like, I'm gonna swim here for a little bit.
Dude, no, like I get out of the shower and my wife is just like, "Why do you take such hot showers? Your skin is red." I'm like, "It feels great."
It feels amazing, yeah.
It is
That's
so
why.
bad for your skin. It dries your skin out, but it feels so great.
And okay, so good point, right? If you take hot showers regularly, use damn lotion. Like, use some lotion. Use some like skincare product.
Yeah,
Because you're right, it dries your skin out insanely. It doesn't matter what kind of
I
body
should.
wash or soap that you use. It ain't gonna matter.
Nah,
That
it
hot
dries you
water
right
is,
back out.
yeah, that hot water is gonna
Dude,
destroy your skin.
I should, but I'm just gonna wake up in the morning, go to work, and just get dry skin all over again. You know.
He's like, you know what?
So,
It's
dude, it's a never-ending battle. So I'm just gonna carry a bottle of lotion around. You got some cocoa butter on you? Anyway,
I think it'd be kind of weird to ask your
my father-in-law, if he's got some, he probably does.
you trying to rub this on my back?
No, bro, no, bro, no.
But no, right? No. That yeah, you have to look out for yourself, man. You got to
Yeah,
you got to
hygiene being a very big one for sure. You know,
yeah, cuz you never
when it
know,
comes to taking care of yourself,
like you don't know how bad it gets until you know how bad it gets. And
dude. And I
so
mean,
to
not.
get up and be able to do that one thing,
Hmm.
is like whether you do it in the morning, at night, whatever, to be able to do
Right,
that one thing is like, all right, I'm looking out for myself at the bare
right.
minimum.
And for as much as I don't go and refuse to go, you know, you kind of do need to go to the doctor sometimes. I actually could really use that. I just don't have insurance right now.
Health. That's a good made a good point, right?
Yeah.
Keep up with your health the best you can. I understand that it's difficult for a lot of people, like for financially, um, or schedule wise. You always got to make. Someone told me. I'll get into that in a second. But like, you always got to make time for yourself. You got to make time for your health. If you want to help people, how are you gonna help people if
If you
you're
can't help yourself.
yeah, if you can't help yourself and you're
Right.
breaking down and you're, whatever, how you expect to help someone else?
And you know, that's kind of what I meant by what was it last episode where it was like I feel like you can't truly love someone until you love yourself. And that's like in a deeper way, that's kind of what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like how are you gonna care for another human being if you're not really caring for yourself?
Or at least on the right track.
Right, you know, you're trying at least. You know what I'm saying?
I think effort is a big part of that too.
I would say it's probably one of the biggest parts, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing too with self-help. Um, no one else is going to see it. they'll see the effects of it, but no one
Right.
else is gonna see your routine. They're not gonna see the therapy you go to. They're not gonna
Right.
see any of the books you read. They're not gonna know your religion or spirituality. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna see that. They're gonna see the effects of it though. Like
Right.
you'll walk into work one day, or you'll go over to a family member's house, and they'll be like, "Damn, you're glowing. What have you been
Mm-hmm.
doing?" And it's just
Dude,
because you've been
you,
taking care of yourself.
yeah, you present yourself a lot better than you did last Christmas.
Right. You don't look like
Yeah.
a bum anymore. You
Dude,
know?
I mean, and honestly, like saying that, like that's another thing too. Like not even just like the physical and mental health, like taking care of that and trying to work on that, but like your your appearance alone, like what you're wearing and stuff. Like if you're always showing up, and I mean, it's it's kind of weird to say, but like if you're always showing up to like family gatherings, you're just like wearing whatever. You always look down, and then the next time you show up, you like actually put some effort into your outfit. Like yeah, people are gonna
Yeah.
notice. Like
You walk in,
okay,
you
you must
got
be
your head
feeling better,
high. Yeah. You're
right?
like, this is a different person, you know? And it makes people
And
want to be around you, you
and
know?
also like the the clothes you wear. I mean, speaking personally for me at least, the clothes you wear definitely make a big difference. Because I've got outfits that I wear where I'm just like, all right, I don't even care to even wear this shit right now. But then I've got the ones where I'm just like, no, I feel good when I put this shirt on.
Yeah.
I feel
Self-esteem
good when I
is a
wear these
big
pants.
so it's easy to let your self-esteem go. It's easy to
Oh
have
yeah.
negative like body image.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what you are, or your background, or whatever. You have to know when to look yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what, I'm comfortable with this, or I'm
Yeah.
going to do my best to get comfortable with this. You
Oh
get
yeah.
you get one body in life, right?
That's a big thing with self care too. You know,
You got to take care of it.
being comfortable in your own skin. Because
Hmm.
that's I mean that's kind of a hard thing to fight, especially with people who have like body dysmorphia. You know.
Dude, I still struggle with it. I mean,
Yeah.
you can ask the people that I talk to pretty regularly. Like I still look at myself and I'm like, I there's parts of myself that I want to change.
Oh, dude, I just did it the other day because I mean, you basically grew up with me. You know how skinny I've always been,
Hmm.
and since I'm gonna just straight up say it, since I stopped smoking weed and doing all the dumb stuff that I was doing, I've been eating more, which is weird because usually you smoke weed, you eat more, but I got so used to not eating when I was smoking. But I got cameras all over the house. So when I was cutting the grass, it was hot. I took my shirt off and I was going through the footage, just trying to kind of clearing out the notifications and stuff. And I saw myself turn around and go start to do the next line on the grass, and I was like, "Dang, bro, I'm getting a little stomach on me, bro. I'm getting a little chubby." I was like, "Man, what happened to my stomach, bro?" I was kind of like self conscious about it, bro. Like I almost was like, "Dang, bro, I really let myself go." But like, I'm not even that big. Like I still weigh 140. I'm just now getting a stomach. But it's still you. Even if you feel comfortable in your own skin, you're still gonna see that and be like, "Dang, bro."
I found a quote. It's not the quote that I seen the other night, but I think this is fitting.
Hmm.
We'll say it at the end. But
All
just
right.
letting you know that I found one.
But yeah, I mean, even being comfortable in your own skin, you still see, like you said, you still see things you want to change.
Yeah.
Like I really don't like the way my nose looks, but honestly, what am I gonna go get nose surgery? I don't care enough for that. That's too expensive.
Oh, and okay, I'm glad you brought that up too because it's important when it comes to self-image. It's important for you to make realistic goals, right? If you want to lose, 20 pounds, cool, right? But make yourself a goal that's realistic. Make some like
Right.
don't just stop eating. Obviously, that's not the right way to do it. But go to like a physical fitness center and talk to a professional that can get you on like a diet plan, stuff like
Hmm.
that.
You know, um, that actually reminds me. Um, Somebody that we actually both used to work with when we were painting. His brother.
Hmm.
he started working out, going to the gym and stuff like that. And he had seen something where somebody was saying that like make realistic goals. And he was like so I started doing it, and he was like this guy was like he had a whole website built where he was like the like training regimen that I started with. So he was doing that, and it was like even though you can do 5 push-ups, he was like, all right, I do 5 push-ups on these days for this week or two, and then next week I do 10 push-ups on these days,
Hmm.
and then 15, and then 20, and then 30 or 25, and then yeah, so on and so forth, and to the point where you like the next time you do five, it doesn't feel like five.
So the
You
best
know?
way to look at those goals, right? Well, first of all, with obtainable goals, they have to be just that. They have to be obtainable. They have to be realistic goals.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
got to
only.
start with the
If you sit here and say I'm going to be a millionaire, and you don't set out the path to get there,
yeah. Because how are you going to do that?
exactly. You can't just. We're not genies, you know. The majority of us don't have like
Right.
like trust funds or whatever. You might, no hate to you. I'm jealous if you do, but yeah. So like, if you don't, you got to look at it like a staircase, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the top is your goal, is where you want to be, and each step is
Your
just
sub
that. It's
goal.
another step. It's a smaller goal that gets you to
Mm-hmm.
where you want to be. So yeah, like you said, increment your goals to slowly progress.
Yeah.
You're
I
not
mean,
gonna
it's
go and you're not gonna lose 10 pounds in a week. It's probably
yeah,
not
it's
healthy.
it's like working, certain jobs. Like when you first start, you're like you want to go do that machine over there, but like you're not ready for that. You got to learn, you got to learn how this machine works because it operates the same as that one, but it's just more complex.
Yeah.
You know,
Or it
you're not gonna,
or it does a completely different function or
right.
whatever.
It's on a different setting, and I don't know, folds the boxes a different way, even though it's the same machine.
Exactly.
But at first, you got to learn the fourfold before you can learn the eightfold.
Yeah, you crawl, walk,
So
run.
like,
You got to crawl before
I
you walk.
mean, yeah, I mean, you literally do it when you start a new job, and it's not a job that you've done before. It's a new job, like a new line of work. It's the same thing. You're not really looking at them as goals, but you've got this guy, you got Steven next to you saying, "All right, you put this there, you put that there, and then tomorrow I'm gonna show you what you do after you've put this and that there."
Hmm.
They slowly teach you everything. You're not gonna just jump right in and be like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I can build this entire car right now."
Regardless of whether you have experience in the thing, there's nothing wrong with going back to the basics.
Oh
Nothing
yeah.
wrong with that, especially when it comes to, making and setting goals. So, well,
Hmm.
setting and achieving goals rather.
Oh,
Um,
that's also another thing that the dude was telling me about his like workout regimen that he was trying. So he would like get up to like 30 or 35, and then you restart. You go back to 5, and then 10, and then 15.
yep, and you can see the progress when you do that. You don't have to do that
Right.
for everything, right? Like that's not to say you lose 20 pounds
Yeah.
and then you gain it all back just to see how easy it is to lose it again, But
Yeah.
um, stuff when it comes to physical fitness, you have to remember you're you're stressing your body out.
Yeah, and you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah, you can't climb and climb and climb and climb and then expect, you know, not
Hmm.
like something bad not to happen or injuries to happen.
No, it happens. I mean, it happens to world class bodybuilders.
Yeah.
They'll
Or
miss a whole season of competition just because they blew their shoulder out, and
hmm.
they still need to take that 3 months off.
Yeah. And again, they put in that self-care. They
Mhm.
they take time for themselves. They worry about their health. They worry about getting back to that goal. It's slow, methodical kind of, progression.
Right. And that could also be another form of your therapy. Going to the gym, you know. Like yeah, you could
Definitely.
also be going there to like work on, losing your weight or just being in more shape or being a little healthier, but like, you might not even realize it, but that's still also your therapy.
So
Because
what?
after a while, you'll get off work, have a bad day, and be like, dude, I'm just gonna go to the gym.
Yep. A
That's
lot
your
of
sign
times
that that's
getting
your,
that little
you know.
pump in is like is enough to make you
Yeah.
feel a little bit better. One
Hmm.
thing for me, one thing that I do a lot, and I hate it. I cannot express to you how much I hate this particular activity. I do not like it. I didn't do it before, or like when I was younger, but I started to realize my flaws. But I like to go run. If I'm having a bad day, or whatever. Even if I'm having a
Hmm.
good day and I'm like, you know what, I feel good about myself.
Hmm.
I'll go run. I'm not fast. I can't run super far. I'm not a marathon runner, but
But that's the thing. It's not about how fast you are.
exactly. It's not
You
about how
know.
fast you get there. It's about the steps you take to get there and the fact that you're still getting there.
Hmm.
But yeah,
And there's
running
no right or
running
wrong way to
sucks.
get there.
Running
Yeah.
sucks. I hate it. You can't breathe. Your body hurts. You know, it
But
just sucks.
there's no right or wrong way to get there either. It's the fact
Uh,
that you got there.
mm, it depends on what we're talking about.
Uh, yeah. Well, I mean,
There's certain
yes and
things.
no.
There's an obviously wrong way to
Right.
get there,
Yeah. Like if you're
right?
trying to lose
You don't
weight and you continue eating too much, yeah, that's kind of the wrong
yeah
way to get there.
you don't set the goal of becoming a millionaire and then go rob a bank and be like,
But
oh
you
well, I
know,
was a millionaire. You
but
know, that's not.
I'm saying like if we were both trying to lose 10 pounds and you always went running, but I always went walking, there's no right or wrong way there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
just the fact that we both got there, we both lost the 10 pounds at some point, right?
It's the amount of effort that you put into whatever goal you're trying
Right.
to obtain.
Exactly.
And this can be said with finances as well. Like a lot of people have debt. It's a part of life. Um,
Hmm.
in fact, I have a different view on it, but I personally believe you should have some type of debt. It shows your credibility. It shows financial institutions that hey, this person can be trusted with our money. They will
Hmm.
eventually pay it back. But
Right.
anyway, right? Like you set the goal of like the goal is to pay it all off. And you obviously don't have all the money because if you
But
did,
you
you wouldn't
are.
have the debt. So you slowly
Right.
chip away at it. You think about it as like a sculpture, right? Like you're slowly taking little bits and pieces away. And then
Hmm.
maybe you fuck up and you take off too much or whatever.
Right.
And you got to glue a little piece back just to, reshape it. That's part of it. Um
I do that a lot at work.
yeah, I mean you're in the you I
Glue
was
it
about to
back,
say, yeah,
reshape it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
part of it. Um, and with that being said, right, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with having setbacks.
Oh
You
yeah.
you
Those are a given, you know.
yeah, it's almost a guarantee, especially if it's something you've never done before. It's almost a guarantee you're gonna have a
Dude, I
mistake.
mean, even when it is something that you've done a bunch of times, like without really like talking about work, like my father-in-law, he's been doing it for 30 plus years. And there's still times where he'll take something off or he'll he'll fucking put mud on the car or whatever and it still didn't come out right and he's got to redo it again. It
Hmm.
happens. So I mean even 30 years of doing the same thing every day, 5 days a week, well 6 days a week for him, you're still going to mess up. I watch him do it all the time and it's fine. We replace the part or we fix it, you know.
This isn't the quote, but this has always stuck with me. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good.
Mhm.
And if you don't know what that means, right, don't see an unrealistic goal and take and have it take away from the good that you are doing, the small steps that you're taking, the how far you've come. You got to you that, and there's another thing too. This topic is so easy for us to talk about. It's so much more easy, but you got to whenever you feel like you're not moving and you're not making progress, just like look back at when you started and be like
Mhm.
and see how far you've come.
Mhm.
That's a good way to really put it in perspective because there's a lot of times where I will get down on myself negative thinking, um, and I'll be like, dude, I'm like nowhere near where I want to be. I feel like I haven't even made any progress. And then I'll
Right.
think about it. I'll look back at like old photos or just whatever.
Like the
Um,
photo I just sent you the other day.
yeah. But I'll look back on stuff like that and I'll be like, damn, I have come a long way.
Oh, a very long way, dude.
It's like when you're doing like when you're actively taking the journey, sometimes we forget where we came from.
You know, I have something at work that I kept because for one, I'm proud of it, and for two, I can use it to compare where I am now to where I was for the very first time that I did it. Because where I'm at is the first time that I've ever welded in my entire life, and I'm not certified to do it, but I can do it. You know, I know how to do it.
Hmm.
But my father-in-law set me up with some scrap metal, and I welded a little piece of metal to another little piece of metal. You know, some stuff that doesn't matter. And I kept the whole thing. It's probably about like this long. I kept the whole thing, and you can see all my welds in it. There's a couple that are like really good. There's some, the really bad ones. There's some like okay ones. There's some that probably aren't even holding. And I keep it on my box that's like just against the wall, the one that I don't move around all the time. It's got like my overflow tools in it. But I see it every time I go over there and charge one of my batteries. And every time I'm like welding on a car or something, I'm gonna have to charge that battery because I need to use the drill to drill holes, you know. So every time I go plug up my battery, I look at it and I'm just like, God, dude, like I weld so much better than some of those welds now.
Yeah.
It's like a good
I'll look back
reminder
on
to have.
I'll look back on old drawings sometimes, and I'm really big on drawing. I'm really big on painting and stuff like that. But I'll look back on some of that old artwork and I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
I'll be super self-critical and I'll be like, this is trash. But I don't throw it away. I keep it because, like you said,
Right.
it's a good reminder of where you started,
Oh yeah.
and it helps you. It boosts your confidence a little bit in your newfound skills
Exactly.
because over the years, or it might not even be years. It could be the course of an hour or so.
Right.
Over that time, you consistently do something. You will make progress.
Dude, I mean it also could just be, you know, raised in a different era or just, I don't want to talk bad about my father-in-law, but you know how he is. He's not like on the spectrum or anything like that, but I'm definitely a little bit smarter than him, but he's been in the same field forever. So he's really smart in that. Being smart is subjective. Let me get that straight. It is very subjective
Yeah, yeah,
because Manic knows a lot more about something that I don't. You know, that's how it goes. But,
yeah. I'd be
but I
asking him
mean,
for shit all the time because I
oh
just
yeah.
don't know.
But like when it comes to the welding, he's been doing it 30 years, and he'll come over there when I'm welding a quarter panel on or whatever, and he'll walk up and he'll be like, "Dude, I swear you do weld better than me." And I mean, it could also just be because I have better eyesight. At this point, he is in his 50s, but
Well, you be welding for 30 years. Don't be looking at the damn thing, like.
right. But I mean, but that also says a lot too. Like, it doesn't matter that you've been doing it 30 years. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect at it, which I believe there's no such thing as perfect, but that doesn't
No.
mean you're going to be better than the guy that you just taught how to weld.
I have trained people in past jobs that have literally been my replacement.
Hmm.
And they'll get up and they'll whatever task it is and they'll do it more efficiently. They'll do it a better way that I didn't think about. And they
That's how it
will
goes.
ultimately be better than me.
Oh, yeah, and that's a big thing too, dude. Is they're gonna do it ways that I didn't think about because you might be looking at it like, oh, okay, it's got to be done this way. Like you take that off, you put this on, blah 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 blah. But then I'm looking at it and I'm like, nah, bro, you can put that on first and then take that off. You
Hmm.
know?
And then it just makes life so much easier.
Yeah, because I do it all the time at work. Like he would always jack the car up, take the wheel off, take the splash shield off, And I'm like, well, why would you need to do that if you're just taking the bumper off? Just get you a small enough socket wrench to fit in between the wheel and stuff, and then just pull the splash shield back and get up in there. So I literally bought a tool that's small enough to fit, you know? But that, I mean, that's a big thing. You got to realize that everybody else is looking at it differently. So sometimes you might have to step back from your like mental health fight or your physical health fight or whatever, you know, and try to look at it a different way.
Yeah, that's a big thing is community. And when I say
Right.
community, I'm not referring to like, oh, you don't have to go to everyone in your neighborhood, but you have to network a little bit. You
Yeah.
have to talk to people and su- surround yourself with the people who do the things that you want to do, that have already obtained the goals that you want to obtain.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see, you may not have to follow in their footsteps, but you're going to see the way that they did it, and then maybe you can tweak it a little bit, or maybe you can just do exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll show you a, a, a huge thing is like you'll be able to see a reasonable path to where you want to be. And if something along that path maybe just doesn't work for you, you figure out how to deviate from it a little bit and get right back on track.
Right. I
It's
think
like,
oddly enough, I think that's why I like to hang around with my father-in-law. Like for as much as he does annoy me, especially because we're at work all day, 5 days a week. I'm with for 8 to 10 hours. Sometimes I work a little late, but for as much as he annoys me and sometimes gets on my nerves, 'cause he's telling me to do something that I know how to do. Like I get you're teaching me this job, but you've taught me 7 times. You know,
right.
like I can take a door apart, but I think that's why I also oddly enough like to put myself around him because he's not rich by no means, but he sits comfortably. You know, like my wife needed a new car. I called him and was like, "Yo, your daughter wants a new car. It doesn't have to be brand new, but she wants one that's gonna last at least 5 years." So he was like, "All right, we'll go looking tomorrow." And then like 2 weeks later, he bought a $25,000 car. And yeah, it might have set him back a little bit, but he wasn't that hurt over it where he was like, "Oh, I got to make payments on it and this and that." No, he bought it straight out on credit and then owed the credit card, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that I mean, that's kind of how I want to be, dude. I don't necessarily care to be rich. That would be nice. Don't get me wrong. To be, you know, to sit that comfortably, but to sit comfortable enough to where I could just like wake up and be like, "You want to go here next month?" And then we just go. Like, "Oh, the car
Yeah.
broke down. All right, I'll go get a new car tomorrow." You know what I'm saying?
Or
Like
like,
to
or
sit
yeah, or I'll go get the part that we need, whatever it is,
right
and not have
to
to
not
worry
have to
about
be
it.
like to not have to be like, "Oh, I need your car for the week because I can't buy a starter." You know, like that
Exactly. Yeah.
sucks. It sucks. Which I mean, very grateful in some of those situations. Like I'll go to work. Like my car was messing up, and I went to work and didn't even say nothing to her father-in-law. He came back in from taking a car out, and he was like, "You drove her car? What's wrong with yours?" And I was like, "Oh, this messed up on it, and I'm gonna have to buy the part on Friday." And he was like, "Here, just go buy it."
Yeah.
So I'm
And
very grateful that I have somebody to look out for.
that's the importance of like having other people in your life. That's what I mean by like when I say back in the relationships episode, like we have relationships because we need them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not because we want them. It's sometimes we need them. We
Yeah,
need other people to help us in life when we can't help ourselves.
dude, and it like for me personally, like having him there and working with him, like of course the job itself sometimes stresses me out because I'm gonna light banter. Why does it take 4 different socket sizes to take a tail light off? Besides the point. It's a little less stressful because I don't have to be like, "Oh, dude, I really need that tool," but like it's $175. Like the tool set that I just bought, it's in a little box like this big, and it's really not a lot of tools, but I got it off the truck and it's like $150. And he was like, "I'll just pay for it as long as you're getting cars out." It makes it a little less stressful
Yeah.
that he's willing to just help me and and help me build the tools up. And if I don't have it, I just get into his toolbox and use it. He doesn't care, you know.
Right.
But it's nice to have that foundation of somebody to,
You could be sort of
you know,
independent, but like know when to ask for
when
help.
I need it. Yeah, when I need it and when I want it, you know.
Yeah. You know, I was talking about kind of going back to the finances thing last night. Actually, I was talking to someone about finances and debt and stuff like that. Reasonably obtainable goals as far as money goes, and we had got on the topic of debt, and we were kind of sort of comparing debt. You can't really one up each other with debt because
Right.
it's not really a positive thing. But we were comparing to just kind of see how like where we were at and the stuff that we have and stuff like that. And it kind of sort of made me think like I'm definitely not where I want to be, but
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. I'm reasonably comfortable. I have a halfway decent, car. I have a little money in the bank. I have a halfway
Right.
decent job, right? Like I know that I'm going to get paid. Stuff like that. And
I mean, you're doing well for yourself, you know.
I'm doing a lot better than I was doing in the past. I'm
Right.
not going to set a time frame, but I'm definitely doing a lot better.
Better than you were yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to yeah.
But yesterday doesn't have to be literally yesterday.
Yeah. So you got to remember, right? When you're looking back and you see how far you've come, don't don't be so self-critical sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it's necessary. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you need that little fire up under you to be like, all right, this is what I got to do, and I got to do it.
Right.
But sometimes it's more of a detriment. It doesn't always
Right.
help. Like
And I mean, some.
if you consistently like, I mean, I've said it before, but if you wake up in the mirror and look in the mirror and tell yourself you'll never be great, you will never
You'll
be
never
great.
be. No.
So,
I seen you talking about the whole financial thing. Sometimes having that money that you want to have isn't enough either. Because I've seen an interview with some millionaire. I don't know. I don't remember who it was, but they were like asking him like how much he made last year, stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh, I made like 3 mil," and they were like, "Dang, that's a lot of money." And he was like, "That's not enough."
hmm
So like even having 3 mil in a year is crazy. Like like my father-in-law made 75K last year. 3 mil in a year. Wow.
yeah,
But he was going a little bit in his backstory. He was like, well, the first time I made like, he's like, when I knew I was getting rich, I had made like $700,000, and then I was like, how can I turn that into $1 million? And he turned it into like 1.5. And he was like, how can I turn that into? And he turned it into three. It's like, how can I turn this into six?
baby steps. He
He
took
was,
baby
yeah.
steps.
But I mean, it just goes to show, like, coming from a millionaire, like having all that, having private jets or whatever he might have, even he's the first person to just be like, it's not enough money, dude. He's like, I got a nice house, I got a nice family, I got kids, like, but those kids want stuff. My wife wants stuff. I want stuff. And even though I'm making 3 mil a year, they know I'm rich. They want these really nice things, and I'm going to give it to them. But then I also need to go and make another 6 mil now.
hmm
So I mean,
it gives you a
even
little bit of motivation to keep pushing. You know.
right. So I mean, I guess like in a deeper way, like the way I see it, saying like even if I make all this, I still feel like I need more because even though I have everything paid for, there's still things that I want and need that I don't have yet, and now I got to go get it.
hmm It's I said something and I wrote it down so I didn't remember, or so I didn't forget.
Well, you
When
obviously didn't remember.
shut up. When when you're thinking about trying to help yourself and trying to set a, reasonable goals for whatever it may be, or trying to learn a new skill, get a new hobby, reading a book, whatever it is, you have to
Right.
remember to be consistent. If you're not
Oh yeah.
consistent with whatever you do, you're not going to see the progress that you want.
Oh
You're
yeah.
you'll consistently be chasing it's like you're chasing your own tail.
Hmm.
If you don't have that sort of regiment in your life, that kind of like, sometimes it's easy as just, all right, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to brush my teeth, I'm going to get ready for the day. And I'm going to do that consistently over the course of however long, and I'm going to see how much it changes. And
But
then
it's another thing to actually do it.
it sometimes it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
so take small steps. Wake up
Right.
and go take a shower. And then the next day, wake up, take a shower, brush your teeth. You know what I mean? Like, you don't
Right.
have to set that specific thing, but
Oh yeah.
when you're
But
when
you
you're
also you
building a
can't forget
routine.
to you can't forget to take your breaks. Don't burn yourself out on it.
Right, 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 right.
Now I'm not saying for like hygiene. Like that should just be you just do it.
That's a given. That's a
But
given.
but
Hygiene.
like for
The
your
shower thing
hobbies,
was just an example.
right? But like for your hobbies, like you're gonna the things that you enjoy doing that you want to make something out of. You gotta remember to take your breaks.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, your job gives you off days, right? You got to take your off days too.
exactly. And
Now, of course, there's those times where you're not going to get those off days. You got to pick up the extra slack, but you know, as bad as this is to say, it is what it is. But sometimes you gotta step up and do it.
yeah. Um
But you still gotta make that time for your breaks, even if it's you gotta go back into it tomorrow. That little bit of time you have off and away from, use that.
Good example, right? I've been working on a painting for almost a month now. And I have this thing cuz I do a lot of digital painting. I have this thing where when I get tired of actually doing the thing, I have a time lapse and I'll watch the time lapse. And I've watched that thing maybe like 40 or 50 times, I don't know. But I'll see, all right, I started from literally nothing in a reference photo, and I'll see
Right.
how far I've gotten. And that is one consistency that I have with painting anyway. I'll remember and look back. The time lapse is a little different if you're doing it in like with wet paint, but I'll look back and I'll be like, all right, this was nothing and now it's something,
Right.
you know.
That goes back to what you were saying earlier. Step back and look back at where you were to where you are now.
But like, and the thing about it is like realistically, I could have probably finished it in like a week.
Right.
But if I just tough it out and just get through it, I'm gonna I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna
Hmm.
always hate it because I know that the way that it made me feel was like this isn't fun anymore.
Right.
Because I'm doing it for fun. Like it's one of my hobbies.
Hmm.
It's one of the things I like doing. So I'm gonna eventually hate it, and then yes, I may be able to go on to the next painting, but it might be another 6 months before I start another painting because of that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do the same thing at work. I get tired of working on the car I'm at, and I'll go work on another one that I got.
But you get so I don't remember the term, but it's like when you do the same motion over and over and over again,
Yeah.
and your mind is like locked into the routine, and you start missing things. You start missing little stuff because
Right.
you're becoming complacent.
Right.
And so yeah, to definitely take your breaks, know when to take a break on
Oh yeah.
specifically hobbies, right? Or on things that you love doing. Don't take a break on your hygiene. Get up and go take a shower.
Right.
Please.
I mean, dude, you already know. I just did that with the whole streaming and thing, but I just finally came to the conclusion like I don't necessarily care if it becomes something anymore. Like, and I guess it's a bad thing to say because I still want it, but
Well,
I don't.
I think at first you had a very, because I tried to help you with this. I think you
Yeah.
had a realistic goal, but I don't think you had the steps in mind to get there. And so
Right.
as you were doing it, you were trying to you were kind of figuring it out, and you're
Right.
kind of at the point where it's like, okay, this is obviously going to take a lot longer than what I had
Right. And I
initially
mean,
thought.
I knew it was gonna take longer than I initially thought. Regardless, I never really had like a time frame. Oh, in 2 years it's this, but I mean, it's a lot more deeper than oh, I wanted to be here. It's it's just day in and day out doing it,
Hmm.
and then not doing it for a while, and then doing it for every day. I mean, everybody who's watched me knows I've done like I'd come home and do like 6 hours, and then on weekends I'm doing like 14, 16 hours sitting at this computer, and
Yeah.
that's a big part of what burned me out. Where it's just like I was definitely in that mindset of if I'm at this computer, I might as well be, which I still kind of do, but like now I just throw it up just for the hell of it, like
Yeah.
whatever. It's there. It's there. If somebody wants to watch it. It's whatever.
But
But
in
like, yeah, I definitely got into that mindset now where it's not like I don't care as much anymore. Like, but I guess also like I told you, the job that I do, as much as I don't really like the job, I know how much money it can make me. I know it can make me financially better in the long run.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna make that my priority. I'd rather stress over that than this computer.
Yeah. It's you pick your battles
Right.
ultimately, right?
And I picked
You're
the
gonna
one
be
that's gonna
stressed.
better my family.
Yeah, I was about to say you're gonna be stressed. Do you want to be stressed for something that's gonna help you, or do you want to be stressed for something that it
Might
has a
help.
chance to help you?
Right. And yeah, and that's what I mean. Like where I picked the one that's gonna better my family because they both can. Like
Oh
this can
yeah,
blow
definitely.
up.
Yeah.
This can blow up, and I make streaming a full time job. But since it's only a chance, I know for a fact that if I wake up at 7 o'clock every day, clock in at 7:30, for a fact at the end of the week I'm getting a paycheck for
Hmm.
everything that I've done,
And you know
and the more I go on,
roughly what you're gonna get paid too. So like
for
you have.
for now while I'm on hourly, because when I'm on commission I'll still have like a rough estimate in my head based off the jobs that I get, but even then, like when I get put on commission, it's going to be more money than I make now, but it's also going to be, I might make 800 on Friday, but next Friday I make 975. And I don't know if those are realistic numbers. Those are just numbers.
But just
But
throwing them
yeah,
out there, yeah.
right. So I mean, but it also just depends on what we get, because like 2 weeks ago there was a hot little second where we weren't getting nothing. We had like 4 cars, whereas right now we have like 13 cars between me and my father-in-law.
Yeah.
So
I think that was one big shift for me going from an hourly rate to salary
yeah,
because you know our when you have an hourly rate, you're like, well, now I just need to work more hours. If I don't like what I'm getting paid, I just need to work more. And
right.
it was for me, it was causing a lot of stress on my family because obviously I was gone a lot. um, and then the mental stress of constantly being at a job, banging out 12, 13, 14 hour shifts or whatever,
Like 7 days a week.
working doubles, yeah, between 5 and 7 days a week, like it sucked. And then moving
Hmm.
to salary, it's like, yes, like what I'm doing now, I'm on call pretty much 24/7. There are, they do their best to respect my time, and I respect that. But um, I know I have a consistent paycheck. I know roughly
Right.
it deviates maybe a couple $100, if that, but
Right.
um, I know pretty much what I'm gonna make, and so I can plan. I have that structure. I can plan based off of that.
Right.
and then I
Build
know
your
where my
budget.
money's going. Yeah, and have a
Right.
budget.
You know, it's it's crazy because I don't budget the money. My wife does it, and literally what I do is every Friday I just give her $300. There's bills that are in my name, yeah, and I quote unquote pay for them, but it just makes it easier because she's already done all the budgeting. She knows what everything is, how much it costs. She knows the logins for all the things we need to pay. You know what I'm saying? So every Friday I just give her $300. She uses it for groceries or bills, whatever.
But you're
Now some
consistent with it.
people, yeah, now some people will probably look at that and be like, "Oh, as a man, you should be the one." I'm sorry, but we don't do that. We don't do
No,
that here.
that
We
well
don't
that
do roles like that here.
that's the thing too is I've seen both sides. I've seen it
Right.
where, one particular person in a relationship is like, all right, this is my thing. This is what I'm going to do. And that's their
Right.
status quo. They're like, all right, cool. You bang that out. Let me know if you need help.
Hmm.
So, and yeah, it's definitely not just
It's not a role, a
the
gender
gender
role.
roles are definitely
I
dying
think
down.
it's kind of stupid, but also at the same time, like, I mean, you've lived with me. You know how it is with my mom. Not the greatest with money. She makes it work, but she's not the greatest with money. So I wasn't raised being taught like this is how you budget. You got to make sure this is that,
Yeah,
and
same.
whereas my wife was raised where like as soon as she turned 18, her dad was like, "Here's a credit card. It's a secured one. You got 250 a month. Make sure it's paid. You got a job. Here's how you take care of these things." Like literally set her up for like financial success. Not that my mom did or didn't. It just wasn't really there. So that's why it's easier for me to just be like, all right, well, you already know all the financial stuff. You understand all that. So here's the money you need. If you need more, let me know. So it's easier that way. It works out. And then regardless of that whole situation, money be burning a hole in my pocket. I make bad financial decisions. She doesn't. I'll get on Amazon sometimes. We both are on the same account, and she'll have something in there in the cart for like 3 months. I'll put it in the cart and I want it now.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you
want
know,
that instant gratification.
right? And I don't like to wait for things, so I don't want to buy anything on Amazon. Let's get in the car and go find it.
I'm honestly the same way. If I know that I can get it in a store, I used to
I'm
not
just
be
gonna
like
go to the
this.
store.
I didn't go out and interact with society. If I could go through a drive-through, I would definitely go through a drive-through before I went in the store.
Yeah,
So it was definitely a shift for me. But yeah, I would see something if I knew that I could get it at the store, even if it's like 20 miles away. I'm like, okay,
right.
let's make a little 45-hour drive, whatever,
Hmm.
and let's go get whatever.
Right. Let's see. I mean, like a prime example, dude. Like just the past week, because I was literally so sick that I was just sleeping all day long. I didn't even go to work, and my pay period is Wednesday to Tuesday. So it starts on Wednesday, it ends on Tuesday. So this week I only got paid for Monday and Tuesday. So when I got paid Friday, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to give you $300. And she was like, no, it's fine. I already budgeted out since I knew you weren't gonna get anything really. So you're fine. You can keep what you got. So I only got like what, like almost $300, I think it was. Because I don't even think I worked the full 8 hours on Monday and Tuesday because I still felt like shit.
Yeah, that's another thing that sucks about hourly wages, because yeah, you can work, you can always work more hours, but what happens when things like that happen? You get sick,
Right.
or you got family stuff,
Hmm. Dude,
so
it honestly kind of sucks that my pay period is Wednesday to Tuesday because like let's just say on because I'll forget that it's Wednesday to Tuesday because like with everybody being on commission, they come around and they're like, all right, here, like filled out your little timesheet. Like, tell me, if you still have the car, tell me what you want off of it, or if you want all of it. Like, tell me what you want out of your cars that you still have, and we're definitely paying you for the cars that you've already put out.
Right.
But they don't have to do that with me because I'm still on hourly. So they just get on the computer, click submit, and it's good. So sometimes I'll forget that it's Tuesday, and I'll come in at 7:30, and there really won't like. Sometimes there's just not nothing to do anymore, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm waiting on parts on everything that I'm working on. So like, all right, it's 1:45. I'm tired of sitting here. I've been sitting here for 45 minutes. It's too late for deliveries now because they pretty much stop coming after like 12. So I'm like, all right, I'm just get out of here, and I'll just make it up tomorrow. And then I come in on Wednesday, and I'm like, fuck, I can't make it up today. It's a new pay period.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll fuck myself over a couple hours, which really isn't a whole lot, you know. But it happens. Anyway, we have definitely gotten off track on some of the health, self care, and
No, it's same topic, but
I mean, yeah, it kind of
different stuff.
is. It kind of
Um,
is.
Another good way, just kind of going back to, ways to be able to take care of yourself. There's a lot of self-help books that people like reading. I know you're on your phone. Don't tell me that you're not on your phone.
There's probably an audiobook.
There's an audiobook. You can listen to it. There's an app that you can read it. There's a lot of most really good self-care books or self-help books are free. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
A lot of them are free, and a lot of them have a lot of good information. You don't have to go to like the most renowned author to get good advice, from a
Right.
book. You don't have to do that. I've read books that people have never heard of before, and they give me just as good advice.
Sometimes better, you know.
Sometimes better because it's all about the way that it's received, the information's received.
Right.
Because what I tell you, Joe Schmo over here might tell you the same thing in a different way, and you might learn it.
Yeah. Yeah, it might actually stick, you know. You might
Yeah.
have understood it more.
So I mean, yeah, books, podcasts, media in general. You have to surround yourself with good media
Mm-hmm.
because we're in the digital age, right? We have been for a long time.
Right.
Um, the moment, and this kind of goes back to sort of like your self-esteem and stuff like that. You can't hop on like a social media platform and see all these people doing good and be like, I'll never get there. You got to remember you're you got to remember that you're on your own journey. They're on their own journey, that there's multiple avenues to the same goal. And you can't forget that. Like you got to hold on to that. And so I've seen a lot of people struggle with body issues, self-esteem issues because they'll get on Instagram or Facebook or whatever and they'll see all these people doing well. Well, you didn't see the struggles that they went through. The majority of the time you won't see that. They don't post that because it's not pretty. Now the ones that do, those are probably the ones that you need to start following because they're posting the journey, not the end result. The journey is definitely more important than getting there because the way that you get there is really really big.
I think a big thing that people should also like focus on when it comes to self care, because it definitely translate over, is the people you surround yourself with. You know, the people you network with. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm hanging out with Steven every day, all day, 5, 7 days a week, and he's just a I don't want to say a terrible person, but he's like always in a bad mood. He has no care in the world. Nothing matters to him. He's always broke because he's always blowing his money. After a while, without you realizing it, you become that same person
Mhm. You are who you hang out with.
every time. Yeah. Now, I mean, some people, yeah, maybe not, but like if you're with that person 25/9, you know, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing that you can notice, like first, especially what I notice first, is like the things that they say a lot. Like if you're not if you're not somebody who says like bro a lot, like yo, what's up, bro? Or like every other word is bro, and then you start hanging out with Steven and he's always saying bro, you start to catch on to that.
Mhm.
And now you're starting to be like, "What's up, bro? How you doing, bro?" You know? You start to
Yeah.
catch up on like the slang and the way they say things. And
So
I mean, that's a straight sign that, the people you hang around with the most are going to have an influence on how you act, and,
definitely,
you know.
definitely. Sometimes it's little things that really don't matter. Maybe they just change the way that you present your character. But
Right.
sometimes it's big stuff. Like you were talking about. If I'm constantly saying like, "Man, I'm a piece of shit," and I'm never gonna be able to do this, or
Or even if you're not saying it but you're showing it.
yeah, you're showing it through your actions. Other people are gonna pick up on that. The people that you call your friends.
Mhm.
So it's not just you getting information from other people that you're around, but it's also them doing the same thing. If you're if you come in, a good example is the workplace, right? Say you work in an office setting, and you come in every day and you're just this glowing ray of sunshine, and just people love you and they love to be around you because of
And you
it.
love being there.
They're gonna they're gonna pick up on that, and it's gonna make for a much better environment.
People are going to actually start like actually wanting to be there.
Yeah.
You're not going to know it, or unless they say it, but like, they're gonna wake up and be like, "Dang, I'm ready to get to work and see my boy Steven. Like, he's
Mm-hmm.
always in such a good mood, dude. He's always got
Yeah.
a great attitude. Like, he's always helpful. Like,
Like I wonder what he's gonna say today. Like
right.
just
Like,
looking forward to it.
is he gonna come in today and be like, Hump Day?
You're right. Yeah. What are you doing, bro? It's Saturday. Like what?
Right. That it makes a big difference. Even if you're not really hanging out with that person, like you spend that much time with like being around people like that, you start to pick up on those habits.
Yeah.
And that's I'm not saying like I'm not saying if Steven's always being a piece of shit and not doing the things he should be doing. I'm not saying don't be his friend because he could be mentally struggling with some things and that's why he's acting that way. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Maybe talk to him
definitely
about it. When that
right.
when that comes when it
You
becomes a
definitely
thing.
should. You should definitely pay attention to like you becoming that same kind of person.
Yeah. You got to be self-aware of your own actions
Hmm.
when uh, when you're hanging around certain people, because a lot of people are easily influenced.
Right.
I still kind of am. It was a lot worse when I was younger, but I'll find myself I'll be around something and we'll be talking about something in conversation or whatever, and I'll find myself copying their mannerisms.
Yeah.
And maybe they cross their arms a lot. Maybe they sit with their legs crossed. And
Hmm.
when you're in a conversation with someone, especially someone that you not necessarily admire, but maybe kind of look up to, yeah, I guess admire is a good word for it too.
Yeah.
But someone you have respect for, right? You're gonna start copying that.
Hmm.
So definitely, yeah, definitely surround yourself with with the people.
That
Surround
you
yourself with good
aspire
people.
that you aspire to be.
Yeah,
At least try to. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have a friend that's not doing the greatest, because you know sometimes it is what it is. They could be struggling right now, and they are at some point turn around and do better. But
and here's the thing. Think about this. Yes, you may see them as in this specific way. Maybe they're not doing the greatest, but maybe you're in their life because they aspire to be like you.
right.
So
Hmm.
it goes both ways. It's a two-way street.
Right. And the people you hang around with doesn't always have to be like a negative. Like with me always because of work, being with my father-in-law so much. That's a positive role model to follow, you know. I mean, I've already said it earlier in this episode that, you know, I just at the very least I want to be able to sit comfortably like he does, at least by the age that he is.
Hmm.
If not sooner, because that would be phenomenal, you know.
So to kind of go on the other side of the coin, right? Because we've been talking about surrounding yourself with like-minded people or people that you aspire to be.
Hmm.
In the same aspect, not necessarily with people, but if there's a trait that you don't like, it may not work for everybody. I'm just kind of speaking for what works for me. I grew up in a household where it wasn't necessarily always the cleanest. It wasn't necessarily unlivable, but there was a lot of clutter.
Could have been better.
Yeah, it definitely could have been better. There was a lot of clutter, um, and it was just kind of like, ugh. So now, when I get in the mood to like when I want to get in the mood to clean, because again, it's a daily chore. You know, for me, it's a weekly. Every Sunday, boom, knock it all out. Anyway, um,
That's crazy because it's Sundays for me too.
yeah, dude, it's the start of the week, man. You fucking get a fresh start,
Hmm.
and you use the whole week. Everything gets fucked
Yeah.
up. Come
It's the end
Saturday,
of the
you're like, all right.
weekend.
Saturday, you do your thing, Friday and Saturday, and then come Sunday, you're like, all right, let's get back to business. Let's,
You
you
pick
know,
up your red Solo cups and.
right, yeah. You know, you start the week all over again with a blank
Right.
slate. But
But yeah, you look back on that, you know,
well,
on where you
so
used to live.
what I do, because I don't want to live in an environment like that anymore, because I want to stay away from it. I'll watch the show Hoarders,
Yeah.
and I'll see. Of course, that's an extreme, right? Like that's a big extreme.
Yeah, it was nowhere near that.
Yeah, no, it definitely not. But it makes me want to get up and do something. It gives
Right.
me the motivation to be like, I don't want to be like this, you know.
Right.
Um,
Dude, even if it's that water bottle that you left on your desk for the past 4 days, you're finally looking at that water like, dude, why have I not thrown that
yeah,
away?
and it's kind of bugging you or something, right? Like it's like,
Yeah.
ugh. But yeah, so I'll surround myself with different things that reflect what I don't want to,
Hmm.
because then I know like if I keep down the same path, this is the end result. I can see the
Right.
end result of this because other people have
Right.
gone through it. So it works both ways, right? And you just got to kind of pick and choose what works for you,
Yeah.
with how you want to, like how you want your life to go and like where you want to be in life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that definitely like falls into your networking, your hanging around with cuz especially with like an older person that you tend to put yourself around. You kind of see where they are now versus where you are now being that much younger, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, my father-in-law is like, I don't think he's quite double my age, but pretty close to double my age, you know. So for somebody at 27, almost 28, to look at this man who's in his 50s and be like, "Dang, bro, like he's doing good," you know. He was not doing this when he was 20, when he was 27, you know. He was in the same boat I am right now, like trying to
Hmm.
figure it out. You know? But it's
And
the fact that he's done all that. He's done all the steps and the life experiences to get where he's at. So like, yeah, I'd be using him as a book. Like, well, what did you do? You
yeah,
know?
like you're gonna be my roadmap for the next few years.
Right. You know, fun fact. I actually, because of him, in the line of work, I have it a little bit easier because he's well established in the job, 30 plus years. He's got every tool he could ever need for that specific job, and then with him helping me, like I know you need these, so here you go. I have extras, here you go. You know. But fun fact about him, when he started, it wasn't like with me. When he started doing it, he worked at a little place that is now shut down, which shut down because he left, which is crazy. He was the reason it was even more. But he went in there, put in an application to sweep the floors and take out the trash, and to move cars around when they needed it, to be a general labor, you know.
Hmm.
And then he would come in on like the weekends, work with some of the other technicians to learn some stuff to the point to where he finally does it by himself. They're giving him jobs to fix and what have you. So like, yeah, I definitely have it easier because I came straight in and he was like, "Here's the tools. Here's what you do."
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, "Hey, I need you to go pick up the trash over there." Which, I mean, sometimes he does. Which, me being me, I look at him and I go, "You tore that car apart. That's your trash." You gonna treat me like a grown ass man? I'm gonna treat you like a grown. You know.
Right. Different strokes for different folks, you know.
But
You know what I mean?
sometimes that, I mean, that's a little satire because sometimes I do be like, all right, I don't have nothing else to do. You're working on that. Yeah, I got you. You
Yeah.
know, but we work together. It's not always, nah, you did it, you do it. You know?
Going back to the whole roadmap thing, I think that's it's. I'm glad you brought that up because when I was talking about this conversation that I was having about finances last night, um, the person that I was having it with, she's a few years older than me, and so we were making that comparison, right? And we were saying, we were equating at first. We were sort of equating like our debts and our finances
Mm-hmm.
together, and then we didn't take into account the fact that there's an age difference. And
Right.
so I had made it a point. I was like, you know what? If I stay on the same track that I'm at and that I'm on, then by the time that I am your age, I will be where you are,
If not further.
if not further, right? So,
Right.
and it was just a nice comparison, and then that kind of like epiphany sort of moment to be like, oh, wait a minute, we're not the same age.
Right.
There's an age gap. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing you got to think about when you see people doing well. You see these
Oh yeah.
like 40, 50 year olds that are doing amazing,
Right.
and
Doing
then
well for themselves.
you're only like 21, 22 or whatever. There's a massive age gap.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, he owns a house and I don't, because like,
And then yeah, and
dude,
then get down on yourself because of it. You're
right,
like he's got 30 years on you, you know?
right, yeah, he's double your age, bro. He should own a house.
Yeah. And so
And I
yeah, you
mean,
got to aspire to be like them. Don't put yourself
right,
down for not being there now.
right.
I know
It's
people
it's.
who don't get married until they're in their like 40s or 50s.
Oh,
And
my
then
father-in-law just got married again, like a couple years before me. You know,
point being,
which
you know what I
he
mean?
was
Like
married. He was married once before with my wife's mom, but
but
you
like
know,
you don't there's no set time frame on obtaining what you want in life.
right.
You got to
It's
you
it's
can
actually
set times, that's fine if you want to do that. But
it actually
nobody's telling
reminds
you you
me
have to get this done.
with you mentioning the the whole financial conversation with that person and like well, by the time I'm your age I could be where you are if not further, because all the time, like when I'm working on something, my father-in-law is like, he's like, dude, you're already doing better than I was at your age. You could be a way better technician than I am.
Hmm.
And that's, dude, that says a lot. Like, coming from him, that everybody has that's seen the other episodes knows that I don't really have a father figure. That is my father figure. Like,
Right.
saying father-in-law sometimes feels like too much to me because that is dad to me. He's done everything I could ask for and more. But yeah, for him to look at me after I've done finished a job or while I'm working on it and him be like, dude, like you could be way better than I am. Like you already are where I'm at now from 30 years and I've only been doing it not even a year. I mean that says a lot. And those are good things to hear. That goes back into like surrounding yourself around good people cuz he could be coming up and see that I'm actually doing a good job but might be jealous and saying like, "Nah, you suck. You'll never be good at this." Or even if I am being bad at this job and he's being serious, like telling the truth, "You suck at this. You'll never be." That's a terrible person to hang around with. Cuz stop talking down on me. I'm already talking down on myself,
Right. It's not helping
you know?
anybody.
You let me talk down on myself, and then you reassure me that I need to talk to myself.
Yep.
You
That
know.
that reassurance is big too. It's powerful because
Now,
again, you consistently hear the same things over and over again, you will believe it.
right now, I mean, me and him do make jokes where like, he'll say like, you could definitely be a better tech than me, which isn't saying much, but like, dude, I've seen your work. I see your work every day now. Like, you're really good at this. 30 years, you have to be really good at this, because you wouldn't be the where you are now if you didn't try. You know what I'm saying?
It's also kind of speaking to his internal ideas about his own ability too.
Right.
You know, he more than likely does not see himself as, I mean, he obviously doesn't see himself as the greatest, but he's very humble about where he's
Where
at.
he's at. Yeah, and that's the thing is because like he's one of the better techs that we have, but he's not the best tech, and that's only because like there's certain things on certain cars or trucks that this other person can do that he can do, he just hasn't done, or he doesn't do a lot. So of course the other guy is a lot better at him,
Right.
you know. And that I mean that's just how it is in a lot of life work, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a painter, right, and then they're like, "All right, you're gonna go install this carpet that you've never done before," you're probably gonna be like,
Right.
what the hell?" You know, like I don't know how to do
Yeah.
this.
You're probably gonna do a poor job. You know?
Yeah, especially if it's your first time. When
Right.
you're learning anything, learn how to fail and learn how to
Hmm.
take it in
Hmm.
stride, because you're gonna fail a lot. You're gonna fail
Dude,
so much.
I tell him all the time when he like messes something up, or like when he does say that, like, which is saying a lot or not really saying much, because I'm not that good. Like, dude, I tell him all the time, like, dude, I see your work. Like, I watched you put in, like, where the spare tire goes in the trunk of a car. I watched him take all of that out, re-weld a new one in there, all that metal stuff, and then me walk over there and look at it and be like, dude, this looks like the factory did it. Like, this looks like it just came off the press. Like, what do you mean you think you're not good at this job? You know? So sometimes I'm the one giving him the reassurance for when he's kind of talking down on himself. Because sometimes you can kind of, especially when you hang around them so much, you can tell when they're just joking, or when they're like, you can see it in their facial expression where they kind of feel like that's a true statement that they just said.
Hmm.
So sometimes I'm just like, dude, whatever. Like, he'll pull something off, break it, and be like, God, dude, fucking up. It's a bad day. And I'm like, it's all right, bro. Like, we work
Yeah,
at a job where you just take it up there and say, hey, I broke this when it came off. Get a new one. And they'll be like, all right, whatever. Regardless of the price. Yeah, they might bitch about it being blah, 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 blah. But, a little insider, we got a group text message from our boss saying that just our spot alone, because the rest of my company is a dealership, just our shop alone made $125,000 profit in a month. You think they're really worried about buying a $700 piece of plastic? Come on. And if they are, then they're worried about the wrong things, because we're making a lot of money for this company, you know?
there's a lot of there's a lot of leeway. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like,
That
yeah, they
doesn't.
can complain about it all they want, but
It,
it needs to be done. And you want us to do it the right way, it needs to happen.
and that's the thing too. Don't go out to intentionally make mistakes, right?
Right.
Because
They're gonna
that
happen, but
yeah, let them happen when they happen, but don't be so
hmm
out there where you're like, I'm gonna go fuck this up to see how I can fix it, right? Like
right. Oh, dude,
that's
yeah.
not necessarily a good way to look at it. But
But that's why I,
know how to take your mistakes in stride. You know, like
right. That's why I love when it's like when I know it's something that's kind of hard to get off. That's why I love when they're like, "Oh, well, you see that little scratch? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and replace it because of that." And I'm like, "Bet," and I just rip it off. I don't even care if it breaks. Like, you already said you're replacing it, you know?
yeah,
Like, that's the mistake I want to make, because I could have gotten it off and maybe fixed it. Said, "Hey, replacement. All right, it's gonna be a replacement when I'm done with it." so, so that paperwork handed to me better say replace, okay?
to kind of sort of move on, right? We talked a little bit about it, but loving yourself and taking those mistakes that you've made and being able to look at yourself and be like, you know what, it's fine, I got this. Like, pick yourself
Hmm.
up, try it
I'm gonna
again.
figure it out.
That is a big thing that you have to remember to do, and that's a daily
Hmm.
thing. That's something you have to do every day. It's that, and honestly, that's probably something that I don't think you don't have very much leeway on,
Right.
because you, in one day, honestly, just one bad thought in the wrong mindset could set you back years.
Could spiral for sure.
So you gotta remember to consistently care about yourself. Now,
Dude, I do a
I'm not saying you gotta fucking be like, oh, I love the way that I am, and
yeah, it
you
don't have
don't
to be
have.
that deep.
No, it doesn't have to go super deep, but you gotta care about yourself.
You're comfortable enough, you know.
You gotta get there. You know.
Right. I tend to do like I use a lot of the little things that I do like throughout the day or like throughout work to like to help with that, you know. Especially when you like get into something and you have that self-doubt in it, and even though it's something you can do, but you still have that self-doubt of like I'm not going to do great at it. I use when I do it and I had that self-doubt and it turns out good, I use that as a little bit of like loving myself because then I'm like holy crap, like I did really good. It makes you feel good about yourself. You know, it definitely for me personally, it helps me feel more comfortable in my own skin and in my own mindset that like what I was trying to do that I doubted at first turned out to be good, which don't always happen. It just depends on how you react to it when it doesn't happen the way you want it, you know? So I mean like yeah, definitely you got to find some kind of thing to help you realize like being comfortable with yourself and loving yourself. I mean, to me personally, that's like the biggest thing about mental health for me. Because I mean, think about it when you're feeling down, you're upset about something, you start to not really liking yourself. At least I do. I start thinking like, oh, I'm thinking about how that one thing really hurt me 2 weeks ago, and I'm still thinking about it. Now I'm starting to thinking about my fault. Maybe I'm the bad person about it or something, you know? Then you start to not really like yourself. Yeah. That's why for me it's like the biggest thing when it comes to mental health. And I try to keep the most positive mindset about myself that I can. Like sometimes it probably comes off as a little cocky or a little arrogant, but like honestly I don't care how other people think about it. I care that I think that I am a good person and I love who I am, and I don't want to change the things that I think are not bad. If they're bad, they're bad. You realize it at some point and you change it. You know, it's just that that's just part of life. What else we got on here? So we don't have that much longer left. I don't know how long he wants to go on this. I mean, yeah, I guess me saying, using the little things to keep that positive mindset definitely leads into the next one of like positive thinking. Because even if you fail, you still gotta. It don't have to be. How can I put this? It doesn't have to be like a bad thing that you messed up, or a bad thing that you think about yourself a certain way. Again, it's back to the whole how you react, how you handle it. Because with the example of me using the little things of where I doubted myself and it ended up being fine, working out the way I wanted it to work out, even though I doubted. If it didn't work out, I'm like, well, you know what? It messed up. I see where I messed up. Now let's fix it. Dang, that boy gone. He taking a nice little piss.
My bad.
It's okay. It's hard to go by yourself for a while.
It
Not gonna
is.
lie.
You'd be
It
leaving
kind
me, and
of
I'd
is.
be like, oh, I gotta talk.
Now I gotta talk. I gotta talk. Dude, I was like, I put. I don't know if you heard any of it. I put like loving yourself and positive thinking one
Yeah, I heard it.
because because like I said, with the self doubt into something that you're doing, and then it turns out wrong. You don't just be like, oh man, I'm always gonna fuck this up. You gotta, because I do use those little things. Like I said, I do use those little things to help me remember to love myself. Because when you do
Yeah.
something right, like I said, when you do something right, you feel good about it. You feel good about yourself. You know, I don't I don't try to come off as cocky or arrogant or anything like that. But like, for example, when I'm playing a lot of shooter games that a lot of people see me play, dude, we win a match, we win a game. I'm like, I'm just better. I'm just
Yeah.
better, bro. In a way, that's me like loving myself, bro. You know. And then
It
if you
could be seen
notice,
as kind of cocky, but yeah.
it is, but like I don't necessarily personally, I don't necessarily care because I love myself. I don't necessarily care what you think about it.
You definitely need to find those little things that you can appreciate. You know,
Yeah, because
those
I'm
the right times when you can like reward reward yourself for the little things. You know,
right,
little baby steps.
right.
Because if anybody has any, you know, psychology background, right, or any knowledge on it, how do you train an animal? You get them to do the
Right.
thing, and then you give them a treat.
Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty simple as that. You know, you got to do that with yourself too. You do a good thing, you get a treat. If you
And
do
then
the
you
wrong
go,
thing, you get
yeah,
like a negative action,
right.
or you don't get anything at all.
But like I said, it's how you handle or react to the things that went negatively.
Yeah,
Because you want to keep that positive mindset of oh, it messed up, but like earlier today, this morning, before we even started, when I put the thermostat in, I was like, all right, everything's connected right, but I'm still not getting display. The air turns on, but I can't see nothing. So I made sure everything was secure and all that. Like, yeah, I was frustrated because I didn't work, but I wasn't just like, oh, it's never gonna work. I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna put the old one back on because I know it works,
hmm,
and I'll figure it out. It must just be a bad thermostat that we got. We'll go get
yeah,
another one. You know,
yeah,
I didn't
because
just
you
call it a day and leave the wires hanging out of the wall with nothing connected. You know.
right, yeah, right. You're like, you know what? I'm done with this. I can't do it no more.
Yeah, and that's a big thing of what we say a lot. Like sometimes you just have to step back and just let it be, reflect on it.
Hmm.
And
There's
that's what I did. I stepped back, put the old one on, and was like, oh well, we'll figure it out.
yeah. You got to know. Yeah, you got to know when to stop, when to
Hmm.
not just consistently batter yourself with more and more
Yeah,
problems.
because sometimes you definitely need to come back with a different mindset on
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Because if you're battling your mental health every day, which you kind of do anyway, but when you're battling it every day, like you're telling yourself every single day, every hour, whatever, I gotta be better, I gotta do better, I gotta be better, I gotta whatever, you know what I'm saying? After a certain time, you're gonna get tired of saying that to yourself. Like
hmm,
you kind of you need to take that break and just go do something to get your mind off of thinking that.
and you'll forget
Yeah,
how much better you've gotten.
yeah, because then you'll come back with a hopefully you'll come back with a more positive attitude towards it, and and then you'll start thinking, I am doing better.
Yeah,
You know.
like there's plenty of, just to give an example, right? There's plenty of like things that I've done. I'm a big puzzle person. I love puzzles, and when I struggle with it, and I get to a spot where maybe I don't know exactly how to navigate it, it's like I could sit here and I could just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it and get tired of it and eventually just get sick of it and give up. Or
Hmm.
I could sit it down. All right, we're going to put that in my back pocket. I'm going to walk
Yep.
away. I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna come back with a different viewpoint.
Yep.
Maybe something will happen that um, that I didn't think about, and it helps me
Mhm.
solve the problem.
Dude, those are the things that like you leave it on your desk. You go out, hang out with friends, or you go to work, and then you just be in the middle of your work shift or the middle of hanging
Dude,
out with your friends wherever you are, and you're like, oh yeah,
that's
that's
it.
right.
I gotta fucking. It's like I gotta write this down.
You
I
gotta run
cannot.
home now.
I cannot forget this, or it's gonna bug the hell
Dude,
out of me.
I do that so much, but like it's the best thing to do because I find myself often with a lot of things that I'm trying to like work on or whatever. Like with the whole computer thing, like with when it was messing up a lot and I was like, dude, what is it? I spent like 2 or 3 days trying to diagnose it, trying to figure it out. I'm Google search after Google search, Reddit page after Reddit page, YouTube video after everything everywhere to the point where I was about to just call the manufacturer and be like, how do fix? Just for me to one day be at work thinking about it for a second when I had some free time and be like, oh, wait a minute, let me word the question this way in Google and then find exactly how to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, do not close this web page. I'm about to screenshot it even. I'm about to send it to one of the homies on Discord so that when I go home, I know that I need to go into this setting and do these two things or these three things and then restart my computer and it worked.
Yeah.
Because
Um.
I do that a lot where I'm just not thinking about it and then it randomly pops into my head and I'm like, oh yeah, that puzzle? Yeah, you're supposed to turn left, not right.
Right. Yeah. Dude, you'll be doing the most random menial task, and you're just like,
Oh, I
wait a
swear,
minute,
dude.
wait a
I
minute,
swear.
or
You're at work.
you'll
You're
be
at
at the
work counting
store and you'll be
napkins.
fucking grocery shopping or something. You go to pick up the hamburger and you'll be like, damn, damn, that's how you do it. You know,
Right.
it just clicks sometimes. It just clicks.
Oh, it's the craziest thing when it hits me like that when I'm out with the wife because sometimes I think out loud. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to turn left, and she's like, what do you mean the aisle's on the right? I'm like, no, not
Something else, something else.
not that. Yeah, we don't need pots and pans. I know that we need the towels, but but the puzzle at home is on the left, not on the right.
One thing, one last thing that I want to talk about, and I kind of intentionally saved this for last. I think we touched on it a little bit, but therapy. Self care is a form of therapy. However, much like what you said, sometimes you have to step away from a problem. Sometimes you can't figure out the solution to a problem.
Sometimes you need another person to.
Sometimes you need another person. Exactly. Go look after your mental health and find a therapist.
Yeah.
If things are going good, go to therapy. If things are going bad, go to therapy.
Hmm.
Like I cannot I literally cannot express this enough, and it's not because of the work field that I want to go into and I'm kind of working my way into, but I mean it's kind of part of it, but it's I used to be so against professional therapy.
Yeah.
I was like, I will never go talk to a psychologist. I'll never talk to a therapist. They don't need to be
Well,
poking and prodding around in my brain.
well, not only that, but you have that mindset of like, I know what they're gonna tell me anyway. Why do I need to pay somebody to tell me what I need to hear? What I already
Right.
know.
But
You know.
the problem with having that mindset is the fact that you're gonna you're gonna constantly tell yourself what you think they're gonna say, and then you
Right.
go, and it might be a completely different thing. They might be
Oh yeah.
you might be like, oh well, this is the problem, and I think this is the solution, and they sit there and bring up something about you going to Chuck E. Cheese when you were 13 or whatever, right?
And how
And
that was actually the problem.
it's like holy shit, I never thought I forgot about that.
Right.
I didn't even know that could be related to.
I'm sorry, but what happened at Chuck E. Cheese when you were 13? Talk.
Yeah.
No.
actually, actually, we went to funny story, completely off topic. Chuck E. Cheese though. My nephew's birthday. I think it was like his 5th or 6th birthday. And me, my grandma, and all the kids. I was grown at the time. Uh, we go out and we're taking them to Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm like smelling the car because she got a rental car at the time. I'm like smelling the car. I'm like, what? What is that smell? What? Who's smoking weed in this car? There is kids in this car. And me and his dad, we were like, nah, we both smell it. There's something in here, like, and it was a rental car, mind you.
Right.
And so everybody goes in, and we're like, all right, we're gonna go out, we're gonna step outside, we're gonna smoke a cigarette, whatever. And then we go search the car. Sure fucking enough, we found a bag of weed in that rental car.
So
But
that's what happened when he went to Chuck E. Cheese. That's the problem.
anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that in a long time.
But no, I mean, you're right because you I mean, you're going to end up going, you know, and they're going to tell you, well, I see the problem is actually this and that, and maybe try these things to help. I mean, that's
You
the
could have
that's
been
the
on the
whole thing of
wrong you could have been on the wrong path,
the
or
whole time.
the whole time. Like, you
Yeah.
seen the goal, you seen the problem that needed to be fixed, but you were
Right.
just,
Taking the wrong steps,
yeah, you getting
you
off at
know.
the wrong exits, you know?
Even though the steps felt right, and they might have been helping a little bit, but it still wasn't enough. It could have been that way too.
And nowadays
Because I
too, because
mean,
I know like financially therapy is a burden. You
yeah.
know, I get that. There are a lot of free online therapists that
Hmm.
will help you, and just have a
Right.
conversation. Just, even if it's
I
something
mean,
simple.
I've even seen a lot of them that like they'll give you like the first couple for free, and then they'll
Hmm.
work with you on the financial part. Because
Right.
they at the end of the day, they're also human. They do understand that like their services might be expensive, but they're willing to work with you because they do want to help you. Like, these people went to school for this. They studied this for years. They are licensed to talk to you about that. Which, reminder, neither one of us is licensed to give you any professional help,
Exactly.
but we're
Not
willing to
yet.
try and help. We're willing to try and help, and that's the thing. But I mean, that's the biggest thing is they're literally trained and have studied all these years to do this. And I can't speak for all of them, but for majority of them, it's because that's something that they really want to do, that they enjoy, love helping people and helping them, be better versions of themselves.
And on that note, I think that's the episode.
It is. Also, do not forget that if you click on resources in our Discord, he has tried to put as many as he can that are on the free, cheaper side. But there is
Yes.
a lot of stuff in the resources, from hotlines to websites to whatever.
Yeah.
So please feel free to go through those, see whatever you might need. If you find one that is also a good one,
Yes.
send it to us. We'll add it. It's
That way it's there.
yeah,
I would. I don't want to clog it up too much, but I want to be able to get the best, most
right.
affordable, if not free, resources for any particular type of thing that
Mhm.
anyone that might be going through something. So,
And if you cannot find it, it is the third thing on the Discord. It is at the very top. It is not under a category. We did that for a reason. So it is one of the easiest things to find. So
or
it should be one of the first things you see.
like we say before, you can always DM us. We can,
Either one of us.
yeah, we can help you out, get you on the right track.
Right.
We can't,
My
again, like you said, we can't give you professional advice,
right, but we can
but
try.
we can give you
My
personal experience advice and get you get you to somewhere where they can help you a lot better.
Also, don't if you do message one of us, if you just message Steven and he doesn't reply, give him some time. If he still hasn't replied and you need it now, message me. If I still don't reply, because I mean we both have jobs, we both have lives, everybody does. So we might just be super busy. Don't just stop at us. There's somebody else out there that is definitely to help you.
And if,
You know.
with that being said, too, if you are going through something that needs to be addressed like now, like this is a possible medical emergency, do not message us first.
Right.
Call like the national hotlines, call 911. You
Yeah.
know, if your life is in danger or you have thoughts of, suicide or anything like that, we will talk to you about it. That's fine. We have no problem doing that. But if you're like, I'm about to do it and I
Yeah.
need help,
You
call
might want to seek the professionals
yeah, call them
first.
first. Definitely call them first.
Yeah. Please.
The
I
quote
love.
that I found.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah, I had it on my phone the whole time. I was like, I'm not gonna lose it. But I'm gonna butcher this name. Avina Celeste. Avina Celeste. Yeah. Take the time today to love yourself. You deserve it. I think that's very fitting for this episode because you do deserve it. We all deserve to be loved and to love ourselves. And also, go take a shower. Go drink some water.
Take care of yourself, please.
Take care
if
of
it's the
yourself.
last thing you do today, if it is the last thing you do today before you go to bed, do it. Take care of yourself. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys listening to us. And have a
Yes.
better day today than you did yesterday, and an even better day tomorrow than you did today.
Yeah, I think you said that fast and it was hard to.
Have a
Yeah,
better day today than you did yesterday, and have an even better day tomorrow than you did today.
there we go. My brain just caught that. All right, we love you all. We'll see you in the next episode.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.